think I give Coach Jacobs and his staff a lot of credit, man. They came in with a big spirit. They were coming off the bye, and they were ready to go, man. Had a lot of energy. Did some things schematically that kept us off balance a little bit in the first half. Played with a lot of force. And I thought, again, midway through the first half, 8 minutes to go in the first half, we started getting a little more active, started getting some turnovers, cut the lead at halftime. And again, it's a mature group. It's not like you got to go in there and yell and berate and throw stuff. We just knew we had to play with a little higher sense of urgency in the second half, and talked about making the simple play. I did think offensively we took too many kind of tough twos early over their length, kind of floaters and off-balance stuff. And so we talked about that. And then I really think Coach Shaw, Andre Shaw, him and Coach Hurl, they kind of anchor the defense. And Coach Shaw made a great call with that one trap that we got a turnover on after Latrell made a big three. And we were able to, cut it to 1 or 2 and got the lead. And then I don't really know if we ever kind of relinquished it from that 12-minute on mark. So thought we did a really good job of making the simple play in the second half. 10 assists, only 5 turnovers. Total team win. Again, Latrell has a knack when we kind of need him the most. And I'm always telling him, like, hey, you don't have to wait to do this. Like, you can do this when we're winning by 8 as well. But, again, at McNeese, at High Point, Oregon State at home, UAB at home, and he just jumped up and made a couple shots there in the second half, got us going, and then we finished the game the right way.
And a couple big threes by Atten and Latrell, like you mentioned, especially there in the second half. How much of a luxury is it to have, multiple guys that you can rely on late in games like that?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, and again, I think we've talked about it at length about this particular team having lots of different players that you can play through late in games, whether it's, Atten taking shots or Jasper initiating offense. Bilo you can play through. Massey you can play through. Mulai is getting more comfortable by the day. And so a lot of guys that we feel comfortable making plays, and then the challenge to them is just continue to make the simple play as over and over and over again as you can. Just simple play after simple play. And then when the time comes and you need to make a step-back three or you got to make a tough shot, then you have the talent to do that as well.
You guys were saying that they kind of sense Brandon had a purpose coming into today's game playing his former team. Did you kind of feel that too?
I mean, he's a human being, so I'm sure, you've been at a place, he had so much team success there, going to a Final Four, going to NCAA tournament. He's from Florida, so I'm sure there were some emotions. Now, I think he did a great job starting with the last press conference that we had. I thought his statement at the end, not just because he was quoting me, but because it is the right mindset, and I think, when you're in that mindset and you're not too worried about the individual component of the game and you really just kind of sell out to wanting to win and playing the right way, you end up having games like he did. And he's still learning. He's still learning, and today, in my opinion, was a big step forward. Kind of got off to a slow start, got in a little bit of foul trouble. We thought he had 2 fouls. They rescinded it, put him back in, got the second, and just kind of stayed the course and finished the game really well. 3 assists, no turnovers for him is a big number.
And Atten had a big 4-point play there in the second half. Did it seem like the momentum kind of just swung in y'all's favor after that one?
Yeah, to me, it was a big shot. I thought trails were monster momentum change shots, but to me, the momentum shifted on Coach Shaw's decision to go ahead and trap. And coming out of a timeout, he's like, "Hey, let's trap." And we trapped it. We got the turnover. We grabbed it. We got to the foul line, and to me, that was a big one. But those Attens and trail shots were big shots to keep us afloat, because to start the second half, we weren't stopping them either. We were trading baskets. And then finally we settled in and started defending. You look at the numbers, second half, they shoot 34% from the floor, 1 for 10 from 3, and we were able to turn them over.
Yeah, what turned it defensively in the second half?
I just think a little more sense of urgency, a little more effort. They're talented. Baba Miller's extremely talented. Those guards are good. The big freshman forward did a great job of screening and rolling. They have good concepts and put us in some difficult positions from a ball screen coverage standpoint. And really the only way you can make up when you get put in difficult situations defensively, we call them like the gray area, where there's not just inexactness to say, hey, when this happens, do this. They know what they're doing, and they were manipulating some stuff, and I just felt like our effort and our intensity, and you start getting loose balls, and you start getting deflections, and you start getting turnovers. That's really when we're at our best.
What would you say is the biggest difference or similarity between this FAU team and ones that you've faced before, and besides like the massive overall players and a coach from FAU?
Yeah, there's really not much similar, if we're being honest, other than the name of the jersey. Coach Jacobs has done a tremendous job. Again, got a program with only 2 returning players, one of them being Trey Carroll, and the other one is a seldom used player, and recruited fabulously. Again, their talent is real. What those other teams had, especially at the end of their run, which will be very, very rare in college basketball, unfortunately, from now on, is that group had experience, and they had experience together. And they were together as freshmen and sophomores when they lost a ton of close games. We beat them in a close game at FAU. And I think they won 18 or 19 games. They were in position to win the league and kind of lost some tough games. And then the next year, they're all back. And they make that run to the Final Four. And then, they're all back again. So really, that particular group had something that most people will not have anymore. And that was a credit to the previous staff, Coach May, and all those players. But Coach Jacobs is doing a great job. They just don't have a ton of collective experience, which a lot of people don't have in college basketball, still trying to figure out their team.
And you're still sitting at the top of the league. I mean, it's still early, but you got to like where you're at.
Yeah, it is early. Obviously, we're about to be in a monster stretch of 3 games in 7 days, I guess. Wednesday, Saturday, Monday. I take it one at a time, Coach Cliche. And you're really just trying to stay in the fight still. Nothing until everybody plays everybody and you get a little more through the conference. You're just trying to stay in the actual fight, and we're in the fight right now. And you start running into teams from all different angles. Some teams are trying to get into the fight. Some teams are looking for a spark. Some teams are, so you really do. I don't even view it as, we're at the top or we got to get rest, get treatment, and get ready for, to go play in one of the best environments in college basketball on Wednesday.
And what's going to be the focus before that y'all head on the road to take on Wichita State on Wednesday?
Treatment and rest. And in this stretch, you're not going to get a lot of practice time on the floor. And you've got to be able to improve through film, through health, and through rest. And so that's where you can actually get better in these type of stretches, making sure you're getting treatment. Most of them are right now. They need to get treatment tomorrow. Start watching a little film, and you're not going to get a lot of practice time on the floor. So you got to be able to, and we have a mature group. They've played a ton of college basketball, and they are smart. So they can handle learning through film and health, getting healthy, staying healthy.
As you guys sit here at 11-0 at home, is that something you guys feel playing in this building with these fans?
Yeah, I think our guys take a tremendous amount of pride in the pit, and today was awesome. You know, Sunday afternoon, you got the conference championship football games going on in a football state. Kind of rainy, it would have been on that. The game was on national TV. Would have been easy. I wouldn't have blamed anybody just to like, hey man, I'm going to get under a warm blanket and I'm going to watch this on my couch. And during timeouts, I'm going to flip over and see what's happening around the country in other sports. But I did, and our students were tremendous the other night. They were awesome. Today, they didn't have the same numbers today that they did, but they were equally as loud. And then I really thought a good majority of that crowd today was the community of Denton, which we need to keep engaging and keep them going, and they make a monster difference, especially when you're trying to find a spark in the second half and you need a little jolt from that crowd, and they provided it for us.
No, what would you guys thoughts on the game played out?
I mean, I feel like it was overall team win. I felt like we came out with good intensity, but it dropped off a little bit, and they punched us back. But you know, it's college basketball, and we stuck together through that. So.
I mean, what was the message at halftime that kind of fueled y'all to make that comeback there in the second half?
The coaches were just mentioning that, like, keep guarding the ball and don't, like, let them score easy basket and really sprint back on transition and stuff like that. Because that's one thing they really do well. So you just have to listen to them, trust that game plan, and then execute it.
You guys shot it great in the second half. What got you going offensively?
You know, the coaches do a really good job putting us all in good positions, and, you know, we trust each other to
running like plays.
Make the right plays and, you know, be there for each other. That's what it's about. It's a team sport, team game.
Well, that 4-point play really seemed like it swung the whole thing. I mean, what are you guys thinking when he bombs that in?
Yeah, it's definitely the energy. Yeah, the energy was there for sure. After like 10 hit that three, like everybody was just hype, and then we really thanked the student, like the crowd, for supporting us and everything, and that really helped us. But yeah, it was a big play. And shout out to him.
A big game, strong performance from you.
Appreciate you.
Season high 13 rebounds, 14 points to go along with it. What kind of got you going today on the offensive and defensive side of the ball?
Really, like, it's really about like getting to the right spot and really reading the defense and trying to take advantage sometime with the size and you know, skills and physicality and stuff. So yeah, it was really about like being in the right spot and then making the shot.
Did you guys have a feeling that this was a big one for Brandon?
Ooh, for Bilo.
For Bilo,
This was
for
a big
Brandon.
game
This is
for him.
playing his
Oh,
football team.
I mean,
You guys got a feeling coming in.
I mean, he was really excited about this game.
He didn't say much about it, but you can tell.
You can tell, like, he was
sure.
pumped and stuff.
Yeah.
What made you know that he was? What was it about him and what he did that made you guys know?
It was for me. I would just say it's the demeanor that he had.
Yeah.
You know, walk through warm-ups and walkthroughs, and you know, he just had this look on his face like, you know, I'm about to go out there and perform. And the start of the game, you know, I told him, you know, to relax because he took a tough one, but you know, he said that he was going to be okay, and I trusted him to be okay. So.
Y'all now 15-4, 6-1 in conference play. What do you think has been the key to y'all's success this year?
Like I said, like, it's really execution on defensive ends. Some night, like, it's not gonna go well offensive, so we have to rely on our defensive principles and stuff like that. Really listen to the coaches and trust each other on the court and play for each other.
What's the biggest difference, you know, from years past, do you think?
From the past year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know, just about like execution. Execution for sure, to me.
You guys had kind of a rough start there, got down pretty big. What was it that they did so well early in the game that put you guys in that hole?
I think that, you know, they are a good team, but I just think, you know, we had our moments to where, you know, we weren't locked in that much on defense, and on offense, like I said, we weren't very composed So we were all taking wild shots, you know, even myself. And on defense, we weren't communicating loud and early like we're supposed to be doing, and that hurt us early.
You guys put up 50 points in the second half, shooting 66% from the field. You guys' threes started to fall, whereas in the first half it seemed like FAU had the advantage in that category. What kind of changed for you guys defensively in that second half?
I mean, they definitely come out strong in the first half. Come out strong. Again, they got a bye week, so they were like feeling fresh and stuff like that. So coming in, like they had the mindset to really like trying to come in here, trying to like get a win. So you can really tell like from the beginning of the game and stuff like that. And we kind of like settled a little bit, but then we have to make like some big adjustment and stuff like that, and really trying to like stop them and get ourselves going really, and keep playing for each other, keep playing hard.
Yeah, sure.
As you guys made that run in the second half, the crowd got really into the game.
Yeah, shout out to the crowd for sure.
Having had that 4-point play, you guys kind of feed off of that.
For sure, like I said, like shout out to the crowd. Like honestly, like they really like playing a big role in our home games, and we can't thank them enough. And we want more crowd for the next home game.
Keep coming out, please.
Please
Thank
do.
y'all. Thank y'all for sure.